Hello fantasy managers, this is FPL. I am back with another video on my channel. In this video I am going to review of Game Week 1 as well as preview of Game Week 2. What are the transfer selections for the upcoming game week. So without any further delay, let's move into the video. And if you haven't liked and shared or subscribed my channel, please hit subscribe to the channel and get your notifications on as well. Okay, so moving on to my review of Game Week 1. So firstly, let's speak about the overall fixtures. What were the overall results of the games in Game Week 1? So the first game was Fulham versus Arsenal. In this game, Arsenal fully outplayed Fulham. They were the good attacking side, and the major major events of this game was Willian bragged 3 assists in his debut game for Arsenal, as well as from Arsenal centre back Gabriel scored as well. So even though if you want to target any of the players from Arsenal, you can go for Willian, which is obviously the cheaper price. And speaking of the defense, my bet is still on Tierney. So, but Gabriel centre back who is pretty good as well. And seeing Arsenal's game, Arsenal were shaping defensively, they were shaping very well. Okay, so second game was Crystal Palace versus Southampton. So in this game, everyone hoped that Southampton would easily win this fixture, even though Southampton was completely played by Crystal Palace. And since speaking of Crystal Palace are badly hit by injuries. Even after that, they played beautifully well, and they the forwards from Crystal Palace, Zaha and Ayew, they were operating in 4-4-2 formation. So due to that formation also, Zaha was completely unplayable in the game. He scored one offside goal as well, and he scored one goal, and Zaha got 8 points. So the main thing was Southampton was clueless in the game versus Crystal Palace. Okay, speaking of the next game, Liverpool versus Leeds. Liverpool, the game was called as the champions of the championship versus champions of the Premier League. So in this game, the fixture went 4-3 in favor of Liverpool. Salah scored hat-trick, was the major captaincy decision of most of the fantasy managers. Most of the fantasy managers were leaning towards, or they captained Aubameyang since he was highest vice-captained as well. But Salah scored 20 points. And in West Ham versus Newcastle completely outplayed West Ham. And with the additions of Callum Wilson, the gameplay of Newcastle was pretty brilliant as well. And this Callum Wilson was completely unplayable against West Ham, and he was a persistent threat to West Ham defense. Okay, the next match, Westbourne versus Leicester. Leicester won easily, even though out of the 3 goals, 2 goals were penalty, which was successfully scored by Jamie Vardy. He was the standout player from Leicester as well. And even in spite of that, Justin, he got 1 yellow card, as well as he got 1 assist in that penalty, which was scored by Jamie Vardy. And in the next game, North London Spurs was competing against Everton, and in the game, Everton won the game by 1-0. The goal was scored by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which I own, and the goal was assisted by Luka Dean. Okay, similarly, in Sheffield United versus Wolves scored 2 goals within 6 minutes. The one goal was scored by Saiz, and the other goal was scored by Raul Jimenez. And in this game as well, Wolves were pretty good, even though Sheffield United, they fought back. Sheffield United hit the post as well, and in the end, Wolves were victorious, as well as they got a clean sheet. The standout performer was Saiz. He got 15 points. And in the last game of the game week 1, Brighton was playing against Chelsea, in which Chelsea won the game 1-3. The game was in the favor of Chelsea 1-3. And speaking of this game, the game was pretty much equal on both sides. They were threat from each sides. Even though Rhys James, he completely changed the game. In just 10 minutes, he scored one beautiful goal, and he assisted in the other one as well. Okay, so okay, so speaking of my team, how my team performed in game week 1, I scored just pretty much average points, which was just above the average points, 50. I scored 59 points. And speaking on detail in my team, I had Matthew Ryan from Brighton, in which I was not expecting too much, but I thought I would get 2 points or even some save points as well. I got only 1 point from Matthew Ryan. And speaking of my defense was disaster. In my defense, I owned Trent Alexander-Arnold, which Liverpool conceded 3 goals, and there was no assist or nothing, no any returns from Trent Alexander-Arnold. He got 1 point. And I had also one defender from Southampton, Kyle Walker-Peters. In the game, Kyle Walker-Peters almost got a red card, and which on VAR review it was changed to yellow card, and he also got 1 point. And speaking of Ben Davies, even though Tottenham lost by a goal, Ben Davies couldn't do anything in the attacking front. Even though, speaking of the Tottenham defenders, you can go for Doherty, which is pretty much same Doherty as in Wolves. He was pretty much attacking throughout the game. And one more information for Ben Davies owner, this Tottenham are getting closer to the signing of Reguilon from Real Madrid. So Reguilon might replace Ben Davies in the upcoming game weeks. Okay, speaking of my midfield, I owned Saint-Maximin. He scored 3 goals. He was in the flanks, in left wings. But in speaking of the gameplay of Newcastle, the gameplay is persistently the ball is given to Callum Wilson, in which comparing Callum Wilson and Saint-Maximin, Callum Wilson can be the better buy or smart buy. And the next in midfield, Heung-min Son scored 2 goals. He had a chance to assist to Harry Kane, in which he just passed it across to Dele Alli, which he missed. And there was not much to talk about Heung-min Son in the game, and he scored one brilliant, beautiful pass as well. So in my midfield, my 2 other midfielders, Aubameyang and Salah, they scored pretty much good returns. In Salah, he scored 20 points. He hit a hat-trick as well. And in Aubameyang, he scored a goal and he got 7 points, which is multiplied by, since he's my captain, he's multiplied by 2, 14 points. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored a beautiful header from the free kick of Luka Dean, and the better or smart buy the game last game week was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And speaking of owner, he was the second most owned by FPL managers in the game. He scored assist, the penalty. And speaking of Chelsea again, I think penalty will be taken by Jorginho this season as well. Even though I thought Werner might step up to take the penalty, but Jorginho stepped up and he scored. And I had one striker punt from Southampton. I kept Che Adams instead of Danny Ings, in which Che Adams, Danny Ings, as a whole Southampton team, they frustrated the FPL managers. They were beaten by 1-0 by Crystal Palace. Okay, so this was the summary of my game week review of game week 1. So overall, I scored 59 points, which is just pretty much average, just above the average points. Okay, so that was the wrap up for my game week 1 review. So let's move into the game week 2 preview. And in game week 2, let's go to the transfers section. So for game week 2, I have one free transfer, and speaking as a whole from my team, since this is the only single game week that has finished as well. There is not much to talk about the teams. The player I own that has not scored might score in the next game as well. So speaking of my overall team, the position where I need to get transferring is Son. I may move on from Son, and I may move on from Che Adams. So, or I have option to move on from Werner as well. So since Werner is suffering from dead leg, he is likely to be fit for the upcoming game week 2. So in these two positions, the players I might bring are the players from Manchester or Manchester United or Manchester City. So in that case, Manchester City is facing Wolves away, and since Wolves are consistently beating City, or Wolves did a double against Manchester City last year as well, so for game week 2 I am not considering any players from Manchester City. But for Manchester United, they face Crystal Palace at home at Old Trafford. So in that case, I might bring on Manchester United assets. So from Manchester United assets also, speaking of the value of Son is priced at 9.9 million. So I cannot get Bruno Fernandes by a single transfer, or by transferring out Son as well. So for this game week, I am likely to hold on bank a transfer, and probably do 2 transfers or linger more with my team next after completion of the game week 2. So for this game week, my team currently stands like this. Okay, so in goalkeeper, I have selected Matthew Ryan. He is the set and forget option. From defenders, I am likely to keep Ben Davies from Tottenham Hotspur. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool are facing Chelsea. And the third playing defender is Charlie Taylor from Burnley, and Burnley are resuming from this game week as well. They face Leicester away. And in midfield option, I have selected Saint-Maximin. Newcastle are facing Brighton at home, and I think they might win, or I am hoping for some returns from Saint-Maximin. And in the second midfield option, I have Aubameyang. Arsenal are facing West Ham United at home. Third midfield option is Heung-min Son, who are facing Southampton. Fourth midfield slot goes to Mohamed Salah. And the final 3 forwards, I have the same forwards I have selected this time as well. Werner, Chelsea are facing Liverpool at home. Calvert-Lewin, Everton are facing Westbourne at home as well. And Che Adams, who are facing Tottenham. So in this game week, okay, I'm going to save my team. So in this game week, I have decided to captain Aubameyang again, trusting him more than Salah again this time, and I hope Aubameyang scores hat-trick and gives me good returns. And I have decided to keep Kyle Walker-Peters at bench. So since I think Southampton are going to concede a lot of goals because they are going to face a motivated side, Tottenham, in which Jose Mourinho was saying that the players are just returned. Harry Kane has not been able to return to training until the last game. So for this game week, I am backing up Tottenham to score good goals against Southampton. So finally, I have this team set up as I am going in the formation of 3-4-3. My captain is Aubameyang. My vice captain is on Mohamed Salah. Okay guys, this is the wrap up for my video. I'll be back with another video on my channel, and most importantly, good luck to all the fantasy managers. Have a wonderful week. Score good points. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.